So the biggest thing when it comes to businesses is that you want to be able to solve your consumers' problems. So you have to know what their problems are. And stabilization isn't really a problem that you need to solve in smartphones because they're becoming incredibly good when it comes to stabilization these days. It has to come down to other features. And that's where the Hohem iSteady M6 has solved one major problem, and that is AI tracking. Now, don't get me wrong, there has been AI tracking in so many other gimbals, and it's not the first one to do that. But when it comes to this one, you don't even need the app. And that is really, really good because you can literally just put this on top with the magnet, nice little magnet clip, which is really cool, and use hand gestures. So the OK symbol will literally tell it to track you. And you can pretty much just walk around in frame all the time and not be out of frame, which is a game changer. I don't say that lightly. It is an absolute game changer because if you have Instagram lives and you're, let's say, a fitness instructor or someone who wants to talk to the camera and move around, this will track you. You don't actually have to put the camera down and have a wide angle view and literally have everyone else in frame. You can just have it in portrait mode, Instagram live, TikTok live, YouTube live, whatever kind of live. You can stream live and have yourself literally in frame and not worry about it. Literally by that hand gesture, that is incredible. And if you pair it with the app, that is where you can actually have extra features, like literally the peace sign to tell it to record. How awesome is that? So you can literally tell it to track you, tell it to record. That is amazing. But let's talk a little bit more about what I think is amazing about this and what I personally would use, rather than, because I know there's a ton of videos out there that are talking about the specs of this thing, what it has, what it can do. I don't want this video to be exactly like those other videos. I want this video to be what I would use and what I would recommend and what I think the standout features of this gimbal is. So let's talk a little bit about the specs of what this thing has, and then we can talk more about some of the big features that I think this thing makes it what it is. The Hohem iSteady M6 is a phone gimbal that suits iOS and Android devices. It comes with a magnetic fill light with an AI vision sensor. It has a 0.91 inch OLED display, has a payload for up to 400 grams. It has 4 Q20 mounts, Type-C to Type-C for Android phones, USB-C cable for charging, and Type-C to Lightning for iPhones. It comes with the small tripod legs, up to 18 hours of battery life with a 2600 milliamp hour battery. All this for a total of $209 US. Now this biggest feature is actually the clearance when it comes to the phone. A lot of gimbals will have this part at the rear. So this is the control arm. This will generally be at the rear. Hohem have actually designed this to be at the front, which gives you the ability to see your smartphone screen. And now, because we all know smartphone screens don't have a flip screen, because it literally is a hardwired screen on the smartphone and it can't flip out. So we can't physically see the screen because this control arm is at the rear. So they've programmed it to be at the front. But if you do have a wide angle lens, you're going to be seeing that control arm, which, you know, is a bit of a downside, but they've thought about that. You quadruple click this. So click it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it will flip the control arm to the opposite direction. It will still have the phone in the same orientation, but flip the control arm to the opposite side. How amazing is that? They've literally thought about that. And if you go to your regular 1-time zoom or 3-time zoom, that's when you just click it 4 times again and you can flick it to the front and then have so much more sort of in frame. Now, majority of the smartphone gimbals won't have this thing. And that is literally an adjustment for your smartphone. So if you do want to have clip-on ND filters onto your phone, it's not going to be, you know, over compensating for the motors because it's to the one side. So you can actually make that adjustment so you can not overwork the gimbal. Even though this does have a payload of 400 grams, that is really impressive. And most smartphones only are about, you know, 150 to 200 grams, if that. Now there are some other cool features on here, specifically with this wheel here. You can control the roll of your actual axis if it's, you know, a little bit tilted or you do want to try and follow a specific motion, really depends, but you can double tap it, and that's where you can actually control the focus or the depth of field, which is really, really interesting. It can open you up to certain creative moves that you can't really do when it comes to just utilizing your smartphone as is. And if you do long hold this, that's when you can actually control the color temperature and the intensity of that top light here as well, which obviously is a really good feature to have if there are low light situations and you need just that little bit of a kick light if you are vlogging. So if you are a bit of a mobile phone vlogger, this is where the light will actually come in handy. Now, I am in my garage and it is completely dark and you don't want to have to rely on your iPhone's low light performance. This is where this light at 100% now, this will give you just enough kick where someone can actually see you and you'll be able to put it in your vlog and you can pretty much get away with it. And you know, any content is better than literally you cannot see and have no content. Now, I think one of the major features that I would generally use this one for is motion time lapses. And because, you know, regular time lapses, you can sit your phone down and just go through your regular smartphone app and do a time lapse perfectly fine. But motion time lapses allows you to put specific points so you can actually move the gimbal in specific situations. My favorite when I had the Osmo Pocket was literally just go from A to B, so left to right, and you can just see awesome sort of time lapse, but it is moving at that same time, which is really cool. It just gives it a little bit more dynamic feel to that actual movement, and you can actually do it through this one, and that's where, you know, I would utilize this the most. And you can actually choose the duration of each shot and how long that shutter speed will be for, and it will actually show you how long your total video will be depending on, you know, how many shots you're taking within that certain minute or so. And I think the last standout feature when it comes to this gimbal is probably the mount itself. Now, this can actually easily just clip over from landscape to portrait, literally just like that. It is so simple to do, and a lot of smartphone gimbals don't actually have that, which, you know, does suck. And obviously when it comes to Instagram, TikTok, and other short form content where they require 9:16, that is where you definitely need that quick rotation, because like I said before, this is probably one major thing that I would love to be using with my Instagrams if I start doing Instagram lives or TikToks, is because you do have that tracking feature. You do have a little bit of a kick light. You can put it into portrait mode, and you can obviously tell it to record and all those kind of things. This is extremely useful, and I feel like they've thought about everything when it comes to this gimbal, and obviously it looks great too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's just a regular gimbal, but they've actually made it look really good compared to the other models that they used to have. Overall, when it comes to smartphone gimbals, I would have to say Hohem have the best gimbal out there, and I don't say that lightly. They definitely have the best smartphone gimbal out there. They've thought about absolutely everything. It looks incredible. There's a whole bunch of 1/4-20 mounting points on here, so you can put audio microphones, you can put extra lights, you can put other things that you need on there. I don't even know what you put on there. It's you'd think it was just for smartphones, but you know, Instagram becoming extremely popular these days, TikTok, YouTube. Some people actually need these kind of gimbals for their smartphone, and they're becoming so powerful these days. It's almost at that point where you could literally get away with making content with your smartphone, period. Okay, so what conclusion have we come up with if this thing is worth your money or not? Like, it's only $209 US, so it's pretty good value. It actually is really good value for what you get. And those key features that I have pointed out should be enough to obviously allow you to purchase this gimbal, but it really depends on what you need it for. Do you need that tracking for your Instagram and TikTok, or, you know, do you need that extra light? Do you need motion time lapses? If that's a yes and you don't have anything like this, then absolutely it's worth it. But if you don't need any of those and you're just thinking, should I buy it just because I can have stable footage? Well, the iPhone's probably going to be stable enough. Your smartphone has really good stability in it. And if you're getting it just for the stabilization, you should be perfectly fine to skip this. But I still think it is a really good purchase for all those features that they have included in here that some other gimbals don't actually have. So anyway, my friends, the link will be in the description below if you do want to check this gimbal out. And obviously, thank you for Hohem for sending this one out. I do believe in this product. It's not one thing that I generally have on this channel, but I know there are a lot of people out there that still use smartphones for, their content creation, or for a B cam, or even just, their daily interaction with travel, videography, and family stuff. There's still going to be a lot of content with smartphones, and this is actually a really good gimbal that can actually solve that problem for a lot of people. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's get it. How awesome is that? Is this the loudest park?
Yeah, I know. So many birds.
And that's what I want.
Whoa, what the hell? They're like a feasting.